everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make this DIY Dollar Tree full apron. It's completely customizable. What you're going to need is this apron from the Dollar Tree, Epic Brown, this fabric glue, also from the Dollar Tree or any fabric glue, this white craft paint or any white paint, and then these bunch of leaves is what I chose to decorate them. But any kind of embellishments that you want is what you need to pick. So I'm doing first is going to iron it. Okay, this is my ironing pad. No, I don't use an ironing board. I've always ironed on a table. So this is polyester. You want to make sure you use the polyester setting on your iron. And as you can see, it comes out so neat. Whenever you're painting on fabric, you want to make sure you prep your fabric. If I was making a wearable, something that I wore every day, I would wash it to remove the sizing and then dry it if you normally dry your clothes. And then iron it before you do this. But since this is an apron and I'm making it totally decorative, plus it is from the Dollar Tree, I'm not doing any of that stuff. But you go ahead and do that. If you want to use this and give it to grandma, make a pretty thing with handprints or whatever, then you go ahead and make sure you wash it, dry it, and then iron it, okay? So for those of you who are young, don't know that back in the late 80s, early 90s, we used to paint on clothes all the time. It was sort of the thing to do. So there's a lot of different techniques of how to stretch your fabric. This fabric for me stays pretty nicely, so I've just put it right on my plastic painting mat. And now what I'm doing is, one of the things you guys asked is how do I letter and design and all that stuff. So I just want to show you. I just take a regular notebook, piece of paper, or a computer piece of paper, and I'm laying out my design. I figure I want it to be this big because the sides of the apron wrap around. And one of the really things that we learned a long time ago in art school was when you're making signs, write down your letters, count your letters, including the space, and then find your center by dividing the letters. Keep in mind, I's, capital I's, don't take up as much room, but something like a capital W does take up more room, so they'll balance each other out. So if you have the W in always and the I in give, they will balance each other out. So I figure out where the center is. The center is the letter Y. And now I'm deciding, I kind of thought I wanted the words to curve over the word thanks. And that's what my design is here. And I'm just using a pencil and on paper because it's not permanent yet. I'm laying out the spacing. I'm laying out my design. And then I can go make mistakes. So this farmhouse, you guys were a lot of beautiful comments about my penmanship. I love it. But this the farmhouse font that everybody's been seeing, that's sort of like a penmanship, but like with calligraphy pen. I just wanted to show you. I just write in script loopy, big. Write big as you want. Write it on paper, practice, practice, practice. And then go ahead and, it's forgiving. So go ahead and try. What's great about this particular farmhouse font is that because it's got calligraphy look where some of the lines are wider, even if your letter isn't perfect, you can usually build the letter out with some fat paint or marker or whatever you're doing. So as you can see here, I've just taken a really weak Sharpie. It's funny because my husband's always like, you can hardly see this marker, throw it out. No, it's perfect for marking and shading and stuff like that. So I've taken a really weak Sharpie because this is brown, and if I was doing it on a beige one, or like a white apron, I would not use the dark Sharpie. I would use like a light pencil. But because this is a dark brown apron, I went ahead and used a Sharpie. Because I figured even if it's a line that doesn't make it over, if I don't cover the line with paint, then you really hardly will see it. So what I was saying about the font was just go ahead and practice. I mean, that's really what it's all about. Go back, and it's really the way that I learned how to do this particular font was I looked online at the different fonts. When I was preparing for the shower, and this was a font we wanted to use all the time, I looked in Pinterest at different people's lettering and said, oh, what does an A look like? Okay, so an A looks like this. And that's it. So what I'm taking here is I like to work out of the cap. I put a little paint in the cap, and I'm using just a Dollar Tree paintbrush. There's a set of 5 paintbrushes I got from the Dollar Tree ages ago. And I know that some Dollar Trees now have acrylic craft paint, but like I said the other day, the matte acrylic apple barrel paint is 50 cents at Walmart. The gloss is 97 cents, and this big bottle was $2.50, but it's a big bottle. It's like more than 5 times the little bottle. And I'm just going over the Sharpie. I'm just taking my time, and that's part of what it is. You need a little bit of patience and a little bit of practice. And again, I'm going to emphasize once again that the farmhouse style is homemade, and it is aged, and it is antique looking. So if your white paint strokes aren't bright white, aren't full strokes, that's okay. If you're outside the lines and it's not perfect, that's okay. We're not using a Cricut. If you have a Cricut, go ahead, cut your letters out of a Cricut. You don't even need this tutorial. But, you know, we're doing this out of love, and it'll be appreciated. So I'm talking over me painting just because, like I said, there's really nothing to teach you more here. But so here's my K, and I want to show you this particular font, this farmhouse looking font. Like, you want to use the loopy parts of your letter, so you don't want to go straight up with the legs of your D or the legs of your P or the K. Anything that's got like the up and down motion from penmanship, you want to make it loopy. You want to make your A wide. You want to make your E tall, so that you can add the thickness. And it's always on that downstroke, that one stroke that goes from like top right to bottom left. All right, and you just want it to be thicker. If you have never used a calligraphy pen, or if you can't get your hands on a calligraphy pen, if you take any chisel marker, is what they were called, where they have like a flat edge, and you just hold it on its flat edge, you can practice calligraphy. Gosh, calligraphy I feel like it's like almost like a lost art, isn't it? But you can see I'm just going slow little strokes, back and forth over. Now, I started to say about different techniques of how to stretch your fabric. I didn't feel it need to stretch this fabric, but if you do, take a piece of cardboard. If it's cardboard that you're just going to throw out, it doesn't make a difference. But if you cover the cardboard in wax paper to protect it, you can wrap your fabric around it. And I used to take a rubber band and scrunch all the fabric in the back and twist in the rubber band. And then when you turn it back over, you can flatten out. The only problem with that technique is then you have a big lump of fabric in the back of your work area. So if you need to lay it flat, that's where the problem will lie. But that's all that I ever did. And now I'm kicking it back to high school, where my fabulous art teacher, Elaine Kane, said, if you draw it like you see it, you're going to focus on the photo. If you turn it upside down, and you'll just draw the lines. So you'll focus on the lines and what they look like. So what I'm doing is I've turned this upside down, and I'm lettering upside down. Now, this has taken lots of practice. I will tell you right now. If you aren't comfortable with drawing upside down yet, make sure you write these out first so that you could just copy over the lines. Or you can write always first, because you just don't want to go back over. The thanks is still wet, so I don't want to lean on the thanks when I go over to paint the always. So there's 3 different things. You can turn it upside down. You can paint always first, or you can let thanks dry and then come back and paint always later. But I just want to say always give. If you go on Pinterest, if you look on other people's haul videos. You can find different cute little autumn things to say. I saw these cute little pumpkin spice and everything nice, like all these different things that you can do. And, you know, be inspired. I don't want to be the only person who inspires you. Go out there, get inspired. I'm inspired by Pinterest a lot because I think that I think outside the box, and then I see some of these things and I was like, whoa, that's like not outside the box. That's like outside the store or something, because that's far. I would never have thought of that. So I often get inspired by Pinterest as well. I try not to exact copy anything I see on Pinterest. I try to like make it my own, but that's just, you know, and if not, I tell you guys I get inspired by Pinterest. So the Always font I picked was just a straight on font. If in hindsight, I would like to have gone back and made the letters a little thinner and taller, because whenever you see the farmhouse font, or whenever, not whenever, that's not right. The farmhouse font combination that I like is a tall and skinny letter next to this big loopy script. So in hindsight, I'd go back and I would make my W a little narrower and make my letters a little thinner. But overall, I do like the way it came out. And again, it's me and it's handmade, and I can't, you know, I love it. So you got to love yourself. I mean, if you don't love yourself, love your artwork at least, for crying many sakes. But, you know, if you guys could see that this is not perfect, especially now that it's upside down, you can see that I don't have a straight line under things, even though I put a straight line there. You know, I put a ruler down to show myself where the straight line should be. But it's first of all, it's a wearable, so you don't notice the straight lines unless you're folding it and putting it away. But when you're wearing it, your body curves anyway. Plus, it's a gift. So this would be a good opportunity now to share with you that if you have kids and you want to give this gift as a gift to grandma, or something, that this paint is washable from skin, and it's non-toxic. All right. So now I'm taking just the 3 beige burlap leaves off of this bush. Again, you guys can embellish it with whatever you want. And it's funny because the leaves usually come off the plastic like veins really easy in the past, but Dollar Tree must have stepped up their game, because this was very difficult to get off. I ended up please forgive me, I ended up using my teeth to bite the piece off because I don't have any nails. But if you have nails, it probably helps. And I've just peeled all of the plastic veining off. You want to make sure that you get most of it off. There is a couple of little like just plastic green smushes on there. But that was okay. So then I've decided, like, oh, where do I want to put them? And I decided where I wanted to put them. I might go back and add a little embellishment to the upper left-hand words, but I think I just wanted the 3. And you can overlap them. And this fabric glue, I haven't washed it yet, but so far it's holding really well with everything. Like I said, I wasn't planning on wearing this apron. This isn't going to be a wearable for me. But again, if you want to test it to see if the leaves stay with this glue. If not, Fabric Tack, it's a clear fabric glue that I have used and I have washed and I have used for years, is my favorite fabric glue. And they sell it at Walmart and Joann's and Michael's and all those places. And I have washed stuff with that for years. We had a lot of no-sew projects. Even though I love to sew and I have my sewing machine going, I still have done a lot of no-sew projects in my day. Okay. So I've just glued, made sure you cover up to the edges, because this is burlap and it could, you know, if you do wash this, it could fray on you. So I made sure I get all the way up to the edges. And I put the 3 designs here. And yeah, that's it. If transferring words to a dark fabric, you can always chalk the back of the piece of paper. Rub chalk on the back of the piece of paper and then transfer it that way. But I'll show you guys that technique come soon. And that's it. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with friends and family. Leave any questions in the comments down below. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And click that little notification bell, and YouTube will let you know when I upload a video. And as always, take care. God bless. See you next time. Bye.